Okay, time for a video, and I guess it's been a while since my previous video, which seems to be a common theme lately, but hey, has nothing to do with the fact that I'm packing mostly everything. And yeah, life's a little busy lately, but that's okay. I feel like Wotv right now is definitely busy for people who are playing it, not so much for people who aren't playing it now about it. But regardless of my poor wording so far in this video and blah blah blah, this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Sign up now for Raid Shadow Legends. Remember to like and subscribe Raid Shadow Legends and Raid Shadow Legends, whatever that means. But yeah, pointlessness aside, this week on Global is going to be well, I feel like Globalers are just getting pelted with stuff lately, with constant banners and some new unexpected content and everything. And meanwhile, on the JP side, we're just kind of dealing with a little bit of I don't know, kind of a meh period. 15 has not been the event as exciting as I wanted it to be, but wow. Alright, so this week, Global, the big thing that I want to talk about are the vision cards coming to Global this week. And we have two new vision cards. First of all, we have a brand new vision card, which is exciting, at least to some aspect, because it's something new, it's something different. Maybe it's going to power up ice enough to be relevant. Maybe not. And we also have the Fused Monstrosity Demon Chimera. Now, the Fused Monstrosity Demon Chimera card is a very easy card to get. Provided you do the raid at least up to level 100, you're guaranteed to get this card, because all you need to do is beat the rare raid at level 5, and at worst that is 100 levels on the raid, which is, you know, standard. I think for a raid, you get up to level 100, finish that, get enough for, you know, at least to get the recipes and whatnot, you're done, you're out, you're fine, you're good with life kind of thing. And anybody who wants to chase it further can go further. Now, in terms of this vision card, trying to get the rest of the shards is a little bit more of a trial, being that you will need to, while it is around, fight these challenges to get the rest of the shards for the vision card. And that might be a problem, seeing that most of the vision shards are actually locked behind level 115 content. You may want to seek out help if you're having difficulty with that one. As you can see, it's something that I've never done, just because, I don't know, haven't been that motivated to finish them. But let's talk about the summon and whether or not it's good, whether it's not worth going through the Leviathan. So, scrolling to Dark, and let's go in here and take a look at this summon. Taking a look at the data on Wotv Calc, this is a mid-tier summon. It is a 30 cost, so it does help with limited costs. Trials sometimes a little bit. Increased Dark Attack, Light Killer, you know, increased Flash Attack. Beast Killer on this thing, Evasion Rate. There's some good stuff here to be certain. It is not a bad summon by any means. It is a good summon for Dark Slash-based units, and if you're looking for something a little more affordable, not necessarily, and you've had trouble trying to get, you know, other Dark Slash-based summons like Omega, for example, or even other Slash summons, this is a good one to get your hands on and just raise. It is a very easy and low bar to get this summon, like just doing the raid. I know it's 100 levels on it, but that doesn't take too terribly long, and you probably are going to want the piece of equipment from this raid. So yeah, I think this is a easy get. The vision card, on the other hand, I'm less convinced about, just mainly because this vision card is a mid-tier vision card, and there are a lot. This is always a problem when we talk about ice and dark, so I'm going to try to keep this very short, so I'm not just repeating myself too much. But yeah, this vision card, overall, for the single unit, it's giving luck and attack up. And there is a better luck-based Dark Vision card on the global side from this one. At most, you're getting an extra 15% on a single unit. And it's good. That's good. And an extra 8% attack ain't bad either. Meanwhile, giving the single target attack resistance party and an evasion rate increase, while also a critical rate increase, maxing this card. If you can do the challenges and everything, it's a good vision card to get. If you can't, I don't feel that this is anything to be too sad about. Do as much as you can, try and get as many of the shards as you can. And if you're looking for something to supplement a dark party and give a little more evasion to certain characters, but honestly, there's a lot of dark characters that I just don't think really care that much about evasion, and you probably just wanting to be running a whole bunch of the other really great dark vision cards, like Diablos, or, Omega, or Black Witch Helena, Robe Witch Helena. Like, all of that stuff, I think, is generally better. So as a free card, sure, it's good, but trying to get all the shards for it and maxing it out is a little bit difficult, and not everyone will be able to do it. So don't worry about it if you can't do it. There's other stuff to use. Switching back to the new vision card really quickly, just to talk about that. It is a vision card that I'm interested in, because it is a ice-based vision card, and if you combine that with the Laswell card, there might be some really good stuff here. And Velric is a character that I'm not convinced underperforms too terribly much. I think that he's just kind of, like a lot of ice characters, not necessarily in the best spot. And maybe if all of this stuff works out with, this speed vision card and attack vision card and whatnot, and then you add this new vision card, Starlit Tryst, slash attack up, spirit up, and pierce resistance up, with ice units, the specific ice unit that is this equipped getting luck up, and a little bit of accuracy up and attack up for Velric, which Velric is already a big attacker, so this should be pretty darn good. And then you get just for Lemire as well, attack resistance up and max HP up. Now, I've talked about Lemire before, and I'll talk about her again quickly. She's an amazing unit, and anything that would give her a buff and potentially create some new parties is very noteworthy. I do think that Lemire is going to be a big character for the global side, just like she was for the JP side, except some people slept on her a little bit, like myself, and it turned out that she was way better. Having more HP on this character to make her more survivable as well as more resistance is a good thing. So yeah, Lemire, I'm going to give my recommendation, and I think depending on what the numbers say for this vision card, Starlit Tryst might actually be good enough to run just with Lemire, but you're going to want to wait for the numbers on that. As for Velric, again, fire is a problem. He will be weaker because of that. I feel like ice is never going to get a time to shine until we get a brand new elemental tank, double cost tank that can be a good alternative to Mont, and Mont is just not in the meta that much. Ice is always going to be just a little bit weaker, but numbers do matter, and we'll see what the numbers show about this later. As for a final point of talking about the Leviathan raid, since it is the raid this week, and I think people might be a little worn down with having to do the Phoenix event recently. Now this one is week 2, Lightning and Slash, and unfortunately Cloud is not out yet, so who are you going to be using? Frederica works perfectly well. She, on the JP side, can, like a level 120, can solo the raid, provided you built her properly and everything and have good equipment and all of that. There is Lightning teams that can handle this without Charlotte. Charlotte is the one that does make this raid considerably easier, though. And this raid does give you a nice piece of magical armor. But taking a look at Leviathan, the big thing about Leviathan, he is counter city and an AoE water resistant reducing one. So Charlotte's big thing is that she can reduce the amount of counter rate on an enemy, and obviously from that, well, guess what? Leviathan loses a ton of its power. But if you don't have that reduction in counter rate, Leviathan is a major pain in the ass. So you need to be aware that Leviathan is definitely a raid made for Charlotte, and Charlotte makes it considerably easier, but not impossible. Really, it's only going to be at the higher levels, let's say 80 and higher, where I found the counter rate to be abysmal for myself. Just because if you got multiple counter triggers, if you are incredibly unlucky, possibly like me, one of the things that would happen is your team basically just gets worn down, takes more and more damage, and more damage because of the debuff, and there isn't really too much you can do because sort of spacing out your allies, which is something the AI doesn't do because it's not a priority to the AI. So whoever the, you can just take a lot of damage from this. Mono element, mono type teams still will work, but depending on your luck, this can be a frustrating raid, especially without the counter reduction. So keep that in mind when you're going for the raid. I do think the raid is worth it just to be able to get the piece of armor, because even if you're not going to equip this to Charlotte, it is still a really nice piece of equipment that gives a good amount of magic resistance and allows you to build some very nice magic units. Whether that be Charlotte, who can, benefit highly from this, or other characters who are looking for more spirit stat, this is a very good piece of equipment to get to be anti-mage. Sorry, it was bothering me. So yes, Leviathan, just be aware that it can be an absolutely annoying ass raid. It's not impossible, and it's really only above level 80 that I found it frustrating, but your experience may vary depending on luck and amount of counter triggers. But I'm sure for someone else it's going to be frustrating. But if you are very thin on options, know that Niv and Frederica made a great team for me that was pretty darn successful and pretty effective. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.